Good evening, or good afternoon rather, and welcome to another episode of My Fiber Fun. Well, you guys, shortly and momentarily I will be sharing a video. It's about 11 or 12 minutes of me at the liquidation store. Yes, I went today because I had to go to Walmart to pick up supplies, which they didn't have half of. But anyway, I went, so I'll be going to my regular store, Myers, probably not tomorrow, but probably next Monday or Saturday or something like that. Probably Monday. Anyway, when I go to Myers, I think I'm going to slide into the liquidation store there. That's that other location in Auburn Hills, just to see what's happening in there. What I noticed, and that's why I came back on for my report, what I noticed is that, number one, they have been restocking. Yes, there were empty shelves there still, and they're clearing it. They're like consolidating everything. They're moving and squeezing things in, but yet and still they're stocking. You will see where I went to that area where I was telling you where they had the big twist loaded up to the ceiling, basically. So I went back there because I didn't film that day. I thought I had, but I hadn't. Anyway, I did film it today because I wanted to make sure I captured it on tape. Well, they've been unstacking that and stocking the shelves back with it. I saw other items that were new. For instance, they had the runners, you know, for your patio, that type of thing. And that was marked at 40% off. I noticed there were many more 60 and 70% off items. The clearance shelf was stocked up again with different things. I ended up getting, in fact, and you'll see me on film because I said, I'm not going to get this unless, you know, I said if it's like $6, $7, I'm not getting it. Well, these items were 25% off, but I only paid $2. So these are stickers. So what I said I'm going to do, although I shouldn't be messing up my furrows bag here, I may or may not. I may just buy another bag, or I might use that other crochet bag that I have. Yeah, I don't want to mess up my furrows bag because this is real leather, so I don't want to put stickers on it and all that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get another crochet bag. I'll save these for now, and I'll put the stickers on it. Remember the hippie? So it's the hip to be square, well-rounded, and then a cat. Cool cat, I'm thinking, or cat daddy, Jen. That could be in his honor. Okay, so I got those stickers. They had one yarn chicken left, so I couldn't pass it up. And it was even on sale. So if I had bought those yarn chickens a couple of weeks ago when I was last there, I would have been paying a lot more. But this was on sale, so it was at a price that I felt comfortable with paying. And I was saying I like these, but there were no price on them. And I only like it not because it says big twist. Well, it's in memory, but I like the little happy face. I love happy faces and smiley faces. So that's why I got this. And I'm going to put this, I'll probably hang this on the bag because I have that strap. It's a hanger. So I'm going to go on it. And I got that because it was actually, because I said if it's $6 or $7, I'm not getting it. It was actually $2. In fact, most of these were $2, with the exception, the yarn chicken was a little bit more, but it wasn't $7 like it was the other week. It was like $7.96. I think I paid like $4 for the yarn chicken. And then these were like $2. And these were new. These weren't there the last time. And then I ended up getting another. This was regularly $5.99, but it was, this was 40% off because I think I paid like $3 something for this. And I went on and got it because, you know why? The happy face. And it's real heavy. And what it is for, you could put it's needle minder. It's magnetic, so it's like a magnet. And I know I had bought that big butterfly needle magnet, but this is smaller, something I can carry right there in my crochet bag. So my darning needles, and I think it's like a carrying case too. It holds your needles, magnetically secures to your fabric, and holds your needles. So, okay, so it's like for fabric and stuff. Oh, I see the little clip on the back illustration. So I can always, I can always clip it onto something. but I got it for all this is for my yarn bag. And so, and the other thing that I bought 2 bolts, and I'll show you. Well, it's over here. Well, you'll see it on the film. They had the tulle, the fabric there. Most of it is 60% off. Now, your more expensive stuff, like your cotton prints, your flannel prints, that type of stuff is 40% off. Nothing's 20%. But your tulle and your regular fabric, and your remnants and all that stuff, 60% off. I said, let me strike. So Q got 2 bolts of tulle at 60% off. One was 40 cents a yard. And that one, the first one I bought, it wasn't wrapped in the plastic like the second one. The first one I got, it actually had like a band around it, and it ended up being about 20 yards, and it was 40 cents a yard. And then the second one was 20 yards. It was marked on the package, so all she had to do was scan it, and she gave me the price. That one was like 40 cents a yard too. Altogether for the tulle, I ended up paying around $10 and for 2 bolts of it. And one is 20 yards, and the other one is about, it's like 20 or 25. So y'all know. And I already had that tulle that I had purchased. That one day I did the 10 yards, and then I went back and got 10 more. So that's 20, 40. I have 60 yards of tulle. That will get me through numerous garden seasons. So the other is in the bag. This will be placed either in the greenhouse or in my closet. So whenever I need, once I run out of that other tulle, which will be a long time from now, because I'm going to cut it carefully this year. Usually I just cut it sloppy and then I end up throwing it away and all that. Well, I bought clips today, not today, but I bought clips this year for my garden at the dollar store. So everything, the tulle would be clipped down, and so it won't blow away and get lost and all that. So that tulle will be used over and over again. I'll make sure I'm very cognizant of how I cut it. And so it'll be a while before I get to those bolts. Hopefully it'll last me the rest of my life. Now, on to the rest of the report. Okay, so I told you about how they're stocking up more and everything. So when I got to the checkout, the lady and I were talking, and I said, well, I was like, from the looks of things, it doesn't look like they're going to be closed by May. She was like, oh no, let me tell you the latest. I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna get the gossip. So I'm passing it on to y'all. Now, it may not apply to your store, because she says some will be closing in May. They're doing inventory. They're checking to see where the stock is, who's buying. She said she told me, she was like, they're dropping the prices a little. And a lot of that stuff, I saw 85% off, like your Christmas. They dropped that 5% more because that was already 80% off. The seasonal, that kind of surprised me. Like the summer stuff, the wind chimes and all that stuff was already 70% off. And like I said, those mats and stuff were 40% off. And so, the storage containers, they've taken more off of those. The storage containers used to be, they were like 20% off. Now they are 40 and 50% off. The baskets, 50% off. All the sewing stuff, that was basically gone now because they've hit that at 50% off too. So it's I don't think I saw any 20% off in there, to tell you the truth. Everything was either 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 85% off. But they picked and chose what they're going to do. The stuff that no one likes to buy, that's what was highest. And then the seasonal, they went kind of high with that. And I think because they don't, they had so much. And then, but then the stuff that everybody likes, that's the lowest. Like the yarn is still 25. Most of it is 30%, but some of it was still 25. They like the threads, that was 40. What else did they have that was, I'm forgetting. But anyway, just know they've dropped their prices some, but not all the way. So when she told me, she said some stores will be closing in May. So that's why And I got this from an employee. And the thing is, she said, but it doesn't count for each store. I guess they're checking to see who has what, who's almost sold out, who's not. Well, mine was well stocked. And I'm going to see about that Auburn Hills. And I might even squeeze to Bloomfield Hills later to see what they have going on. But anyway, those may close in May, as promised. And she said that will be at the end of May, right around Memorial Day. She said, we have been extended. Now, this location, and y'all know where I've been. I'm not giving it because it's very few employees in there now. So I don't want somebody from the liquidation store to hear this video and figure out who told me. But hey, there's still enough employees to where they'll never guess. Anyway, she said they've been extended for 3 months or longer. She said they may even hold out to Christmas. Right now, they're talking, depending on the stock, they're talking, for some, it'll be around Christmas time. She's like, but she already knows my location. She said, we will not, by no means. She was like, we got word from corporate or whoever, the powers that be, the satanic ones. You know, I don't like the liquidation people, so I'm calling them every evil name, evil, in the book. Anyway, they have handed down word that they will be extended for at least 3 months throughout the summer. So we're in April, May, June, at least July. So she's like, relax. And she was like, and we've been telling everybody, she was like, so people are calming down. They're no longer panic buying and stuff. They're waiting on the prices to drop. And they're dropping them a little bit, but not much, you know, because they got to get that stock clear. She said, we have so much stock. She was like in the back and stuff. She was like, she said, my thought is that we'll probably end up going until Christmas. She's like, I think we're going to go until the holiday season. She's like, we're nowhere near. She was like, unless they start dropping things by 90%, 95, you know, like that, where people will start buying it and then they still control, you know, bringing the stock out. She was like, even if they do that, it's still going to take at least 3 months to get it clear. And I believe her because all that new stock I saw in there, and then on top of that, I saw that Big Twist stock 2 weeks ago that was up to the ceiling, and it's still quite a bit. I showed you where it's on the shelves now and on the floor and all that stuff. And then all the shelves, all that yarn that was cleared 2 weeks ago it's been restocked. Now the crochet hooks and knitting needles, that stuff is still sold out. So they've got that condensed over to the side, what little is left. And so it was interesting today. So I said, well, I need to come on and at least give that report because it's something different, something new. So if you're in my area and you know which one I go to, so get thee back to that location and you might can find some good deals there because like I said, there are new things out, not the same old, what we've been seeing for the past month and a half. There are some new things that are out. Okay, so anyway, the fishing trip for tomorrow basically is canceled. JD claimed that his truck wouldn't start. And he wanted me to drive all the way, and he's way deep down in Detroit. That's at least an hour away. You know, I'm 10 minutes from the outskirts of Detroit and the suburbs and stuff. But, you know, if I drove like all the way, I mean, if I were to go down river Detroit, you know, where the big lake and all that stuff is, heck, that could take me 2 hours, you know, with the highway and all that, Southgate, those areas. JD isn't quite that far, but he's far enough. He's closer to downtown. That's a little further from me. It would take me at least, like, depending on traffic, it could take as much as 45 minutes or 30 minutes. So he wanted me to come pick him up, then come all the way here. Then he stayed a night. Then I have to take him all the way back to, oh no, I'm not going through that. And so he got mad, but he was like, as many times as I picked you, you've come and you've stayed here, you've driven here, and then you drive home. He's never come to pick me up all this way and then take me somewhere. One time he did, after my surgery, he came and picked me up, and then we went to Belleville, which was about 40, 50 miles away. So that's the only time. But since then, my goodness, I mean, I've picked him up since then, because I have done it. I did it last year one time when his vehicle went down. And that's why I decided I'm not doing it again, because he was like, oh, it's not far. And it took me forever. And then when I brought him home afterwards, I was already worn out. And then I did all the driving, had to hit the highway coming back home. And by the time I got home, it was pitch black nighttime, and we had left early, trying to get home early. It was a nightmare. And I said, I will not do that again. So when he asked, the answer was no. So I did get my fishing license. I got bait and everything. I may drive it tomorrow myself. Now, Harson's Island is about 40 miles away. It takes you less than an hour to get there. But if I go, and I've gone by myself before. Now, this is a spot. Now, the spot by me, which is called Lake 16, it's about 10 minutes from my home. And that's where you can catch the crappie and stuff. That's the place that I do not like to go alone, because it's a wooded area right by the pier where you fish. Most of the time you have people on the pier fishing, but it's so secluded that, and it's off a busy street and all, but with those, with that brush there, the woods and everything, if someone was to snatch me up, no one would see from the road. They could toss me in that water and I would never be seen again. And so I've never liked fishing that spot by myself. Usually I'll go with someone or with my sister or something like that. There are other lakes around here that's very safe. I would consider them very safe. I would advise anyone, if you want to fish alone, you can go, because there is a police presence. For instance, the one lake that I like to fish in the summer and is called Dodge Park, number 4. High police presence. In fact, they have sheriffs on the water, sheriffs that patrol. You're going to see no one is going to get you there. Otherwise, they're going to be caught. So that place, I go there by myself all the time. Lake 16 is the only one I'm kind of leery of. Then there's a lake, let's see, what's the other one that I go to that I don't mind going to by myself? Selfridge, it has a high police presence. Oh, and then Harson's Island, although it's the furthest at 40 miles, high police presence, is on an island. I usually see people I know, whether, I know JD and Robert real well, but I know other people there too. A few of my YouTube influencers fish there, and I've met them and gotten to know them, over the past few years and whatnot. Very safe. And then you have the game warden, and boy, they're going to check you, and all that. So, and I've been to Harson's Island numerous times by myself, rode the ferry by myself, no problem whatsoever. You're going to have a good time while you're there. So, the thing is, so I may go tomorrow. If I do, I won't. Well, I will film and I can share it here, because JD's not on this channel. He's on my other channel, so I can't share it. So Q-Statters, those of you who are here, come back tomorrow. If I go, I will be filming, because I want y'all to see how it is, the ferry ride, how beautiful that water is, the big water. This is Lake St. Clair. The lake, this is one of the big lakes, because, we're the Great Lakes state, and our lakes are pretty big, huge, here in Michigan, and there's water everywhere. I live, I think I've mentioned before, I live like 4 minutes from 3 different lakes. In fact, I would actually have a lake view from my backyard if not for all the trees and stuff. If they were to cut all those trees down, I would have a great creek view and a lake view. So there's like 3 lakes, like right within walking distance, actually. I grew up right close to a lake. We used to walk up to the lake all the time and fish. So lakes, it's, for us, it's nothing big. We take lakes for granted around here because it's so many lakes, creeks and ponds and things like that. Here, it costs a little more to live on the lake, depending on what lake you live on. In fact, I've lived on the lake 3 times, and the first house, when I was buying my first house, I almost moved. It was a creek in the backyard, and then there was a big lake right there, and it was like a foot wide piece of land that separated the home I would have gotten to the lake. And the city owned the lake, so I would not have had to pay taxes or the higher price. The house was at a steal. The only reason I didn't get it was because my mother was the focus for buying my first home, and she would have had to go upstairs. Otherwise, I would have gotten that house. Believe me. Woo-hoo. But, I mean, I could still end up on a lake or whatever, but I'm close enough, so it doesn't bother me. It doesn't faze me to live on the lake or off the lake. I've done it, and it's good. It's fun, but it's, it just doesn't faze me. I can fish at any time, except in the winter, of course, unless I want to ice fish. And why am I rambling? I've been on here 20 minutes talking about fishing. So y'all look for me possibly tomorrow. And then I mentioned in the other film about the disclaimer. I did film the finale of Mama, the mini-series. I filmed the finale and I added more to that video. I filmed because I was telling a story about how upset I was. And so when that incident, I was real upset. So it was at the time when we closed the casket. So I'm just letting you know again, it's a trigger warning. So that's my disclaimer for that video, because I didn't know I was going to film that at the time when I started filming, because I was at the computer. And so I didn't put the disclaimer on the video. I might put the disclaimer in the title, trigger warning, because I know how it is for any of you who have lost a parent, a sibling, or anything like that. I don't want to trigger anyone. So therefore, that's something you can scroll right through. It took all of a few minutes, maybe 1 minute, for that scene to end, and it's at the beginning. And so then towards the end, everything else is fine, where you'll see the standing ovation. And then after that, I filmed when we were leaving so that you could see my mother's late brother and her late best friend. There were good shots of them in there, so I added that. And then I told the story of her hospice journey, and then ultimately her passing. Okay, so that video is about, it might be 30 minutes. It's not that long, not my usual length. So I will upload that probably on Saturday or Sunday. So you will know that disclaimer is already there when I do upload it. I'm not going to upload it right away. And then after that, we'll do my father's story. But anyway, let me get off of here because I'm getting ready to eat and then get a few things done. I need to go out to my greenhouse and check on my plants that I have evicted out of here and taken out there. It's a nice day today. It's about 68 degrees and it's supposed to be real nice tomorrow. So that's why I say I may end up going to the lake on tomorrow. I think I will, more than likely. It all depends on what time I get up and how I feel. But anyway, so I'll be going alone. I have my bait. I have my license. I'm all set and ready to go. So I will talk to you guys later, and may God bless you all. And get thee to Joann's or to the liquidation store. Check your areas. Go see what they have. You never know. You might find a good deal. But I'm just letting you know about what's happening here in my area. Yes, I think I did pretty good today. I didn't think I was going to end up buying anything. And for me to get that tool, something I needed, and at such a cheap price, I came under $20 today for everything that I got. So that's not bad at all. Okay, so I will talk to you guys later, and bye-bye.